Hello, I'm Samantha Sleeman again. I'm the volunteer coordinator, and welcome to part 2 of the virtual orientation. Part 2 is going to cover some policies and procedures that will affect you as a volunteer. We will be covering the volunteer handbook. The cover looks something like this. You should have received it from your site supervisor. So I will be going through it. I may not read the handbook verbatim, so feel free to follow along, look further at the policies if you'd like. I will be covering what we feel is essential. To start off with, I'm going to talk about orientation and training. This is our orientation currently. You'll also receive a kind of program orientation that coordinates with it about what you'll be doing on the job and what you should expect, those types of things. Could also be considered training. All of your opportunity-specific training is going to be provided to you specifically by your site supervisor or other program staff. And it's really kind of as you need or on the job kind of training where you learn as you go. We also often or occasionally have optional trainings for volunteers that have to do with self-improvement, cross-cultural or diversity topics, and also some community topics. Those would be announced to all the volunteers through our volunteer office. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about volunteer attendance. Volunteer attendance we take fairly seriously. Some of our programs depend on our volunteers more than others and plan programming around how many volunteers they expect. So if you are signed up for a shift on a specific day and are unable to make it, we do ask that you call or email your site supervisor and let them know that you will not be able to make it that day. If you know that you'll be out of town, let us know as far as ahead of time as you can. And also if you have to discontinue your volunteer services at any time, please let us know so that we are able to make plans. Going to the next page, we're going to talk about record keeping. Record keeping is how we keep track of how many hours are donated to us each year. It's important for two reasons. One, if you are a service learner and need your hours verified to your school, signing in and out of our time log binders will allow us to verify your hours. Another reason is since we are a nonprofit, funders often ask how many volunteers do you have, what do they do for you, and how many hours do they contribute. So we like having that information to be able to give to funders. Your handbook will list a number of places that have time log binders or sign-in sheets for volunteers available, and we do ask that you sign in and out each time you volunteer. Our confidentiality policy is theirs to protect our clients and their identity and their private information. We are required to meet all of the requirements of HIPAA and other data privacy acts, so we ask that our staff and volunteers help us in keeping all of this confidential information private. And not sharing information that they have learned about our clients with people outside of the agency. The handbook will go into some special points. The one that I will touch on briefly is that if you do see a client in the community, we ask that you not initiate contact with them. If they say hi to you, it's perfectly fine to say hi to them, as long as you don't let individuals that you might be with know how you know them and what services that they're getting. Background study. We run basic background studies on all of our volunteers. If you are volunteering with our family program or in one of our community support programs, you'll be given a more complex background study form to fill out and complete. Safety procedures. These vary based on the location that you'll be at, but all of them include common sense, so please use common sense when it comes to safety. Don't give out your personal information to clients. That's things beyond your first name. If you drove to our location, make sure that you're locking your car doors and that there are no valuables visible from the outside. And a number of our locations use Dr. Hall as an emergency code. So if you are hearing Dr. Hall being paged to a certain location, that means that there's an emergency situation at that site, and we have staff that respond to those calls. Volunteers don't respond to them. We just like letting you know who Dr. Hall is, so in the case that he is called, you don't wonder. If you have any problems with a client, please don't hesitate to talk to staff. They're there to help you, and they may be able to give you some insight on how to interact with specific clients. We also have organizational drills that prepare us for emergencies. So we may have a fire drill or a tornado drill. If we do, and you're on site, we ask that you participate in them. They don't tend to last long, and it's for everyone's safety. The next policy is called conflict of interest, and that's at the bottom of the page. We ask that our staff and volunteers not form relationships with people outside the agency. So any social relationship with clients are prohibited for staff and volunteers, and that could include in person, by phone, or on Facebook, unless otherwise approved by your program. We ask that you not drive clients in your own personal vehicle. We also ask that volunteers not discuss their own personal religious beliefs or political views with our clients. Some of the volunteer opportunities put you in a social setting, so if you are in one of those and the topic does come up, we encourage you to talk about it in a neutral way that conveys education and awareness rather than specifically singling out a party or a candidate. We also ask that if you are politically active in the community for a specific political party or candidate, that you not link that work to the work that you're doing with us. Because we are a 501c3 nonprofit, that doesn't allow us to be partisan on those types of things. We have to remain nonpartisan. We do promote elections and civil responsibility to our clients, so you will see that if you volunteer during an election time. We also try advocating on specific topics or legislature that would affect our clients, but do it in a nonpartisan manner. The dress code policy for volunteers. The handbook hasn't been modified to reflect this change, but I'm going to say it here. Employment Action Center is business casual Monday through Thursdays and casual on Fridays. That means on Fridays, casual day would be considered jeans, and a casual top as well. The business casual is considered no jeans, no tennis shoes, and a nice shirt. So khakis, dress pants, those types of things. You don't have to wear a suit or a tie. And that's to encourage that behavior in clients. If you do not have any business casual clothing, please talk to your site supervisor. We don't expect our volunteers to need to go out and buy clothes to volunteer, so please talk to your supervisor. Minnesota Resource Center is business casual Monday through Friday, so please make that note. Employment Action Center and has a no fragrance policy as well, so they ask that employees and volunteers refrain from wearing perfumes, colognes, scented aftershaves, and scented lotions, as some of our staff and visitors and clients may have allergic reactions or scent sensitivities. Volunteering at our other two centers, Recovery Resource Center or Spectrum Community Mental Health, have more of a casual dress code, so please dress neat and clean with clothing that's appropriate, but you are able to wear jeans and t-shirts. We would ask that if you are wearing t-shirts and sweatshirts that there are no inappropriate sayings or political slogans on those t-shirts. And then smoke-free environment. All of our buildings are smoke-free, and if you are a smoker, I encourage you to ask staff where the designated smoking area is for that location. The next page goes into holidays that we are closed on. Always pay attention to that. The next one, we're closed on most major public holidays. So take this list. Certain programs may also be closed on other days, so please make sure that you're checking with your program if they do release any sort of events calendar. Benefits of volunteering, that's something that you can take a look at later, and some of the benefits you'd get volunteering anywhere, some are more specific to resource. Feel free to like us on Facebook. At the bottom of the page you'll see a link that will take you to our Facebook page. We also have events called Discover Resource events that are informational sessions. You can feel free to invite individuals to or come yourself. There's a list of the ones that are remaining in the spring. We also have a fundraising event in June that you are more than welcome to attend. We don't mandate that volunteers attend or give monetarily, but this is an option for you if that's something that you want to do. The last page goes into service learning. If you are a service learner, your school may or may not have explained it very well. This just gives 3 points of service learning, one of them being reflection. If you are reflecting as a service learner and you are writing a paper about your experience, we do ask that you change any names that you happen to be talking about, so identities are protected. That concludes part 2. Please take the quiz that goes along with this virtual orientation and turn it in to your supervisor on your first day. Thank you. Bye.